What's up, y'all? This is my top 5 favorite chapters of One Piece this year. Check them out with me as I take my hair out individually, little by little, as the video progresses. So, to start out the list, at number 5 is chapter 1131, the one of the only Elbaf chapters that you're going to see in this top 5. And this is the big Loki reveal. Loki has been hyped up since forever, and we finally get to see him, and his design does not disappoint. His entrance does not disappoint. His bounty does not disappoint. He has a bounty of 2.6 billion, and it's a special bounty at that, whatever that means. We get our introduction with him meeting Luffy. It's like the perfect pairing. You see how disarming Luffy is, and then Loki, says something about Shanks, and in like 2.4 seconds flat, Luffy is on his ass in Gear 4, getting ready to knock his block off. I reacted to that on this channel. You can check it out over here or over here, wherever the button is that pops up right here on this screen, but it was pretty great. And then one of the greatest things that could have ever happened is my waifu, Nico Robin, getting her pre-time skip haircut back to go and meet Saul. I love Robin, especially in that haircut. So on the number 4 spot, I got chapter 1119. Now this is like an oddball pick. It's not in everybody's like top fives. The reason I really, really love this one is because I really enjoyed the Joy Girl Bonnie stuff. I know a lot of people didn't. It kind of was a very divisive thing. I hope, like, looking back on this, for new people who are getting into One Piece and catching up that weren't a part of this, see this and know that Bonnie turning Gear 5 was a huge thing of contention within the fan base, and it kind of got sad at some points. But yeah, this was great. This made me feel like old times. You know what I mean? This had me feeling like old times. You see Gaimon. You see Goofy Luffy doing oddball attacks. You got some comedy, some physical comedy stretched in there. You got the Giants doing the Nika dance, and super excited to see two Sun God Nikas. It's a fun time. It reminds me of pre-time skip era, and it reminded me that it's still like this whimsical pirate kind of thing, and you get a sneak peek of the man himself, the myth, the legend, Katakuri. What more can you ask for? And then I believe Oda ends out with one of my favorite sign-offs ever in a chapter, Luffy going crazy, seeing a robot, and the caption, "The romance lives on," an ode to Romance Dawn. It's so beautiful. So, my number 3 favorite chapter of 2024 has to be chapter 1110. That's the one where, the five Gorosei are finally freaking named and show up via summoning circle in their yokai forms. It was an amazing time to be alive, and it was super hyped to see Saint Shepherd Jupiter as the Sandworm, because Dune 2 just came out, and everybody was just. But within all of that, Oda still found the time to put the sauce, to put the sasson on my man Zoro getting another feat. They're just handing out all these freaking yokai feats left and right in this chapter, and then right at the very end, here comes Zoro with a freaking Havana hunt. And why does he go so ham? Because somehow, I don't know if he heard it via earpiece or through the ether, he heard Sanji say, "Oh my god, you're being a burden," and then just did a Havana hunt on Rob Lucci's ass. It was amazing. Not to mention the reunion with Luffy and the Giants. It's incredible. So my second favorite chapter of the year just came out, and that's chapter 1134. Now, there's a lot to gleam over before we get to the most obvious stuff. Number one being the introduction of Luffy and Soul, and Luffy opening up with that Yakuza like, one of our old fledglings. You helped out one of our old fledglings back in the day, and then the crowd reacting to Robin saying, "I found my friends," and they're like, "We'd die for you." Everybody except Jinbei and the stoic Zoro. And even the unexpected reunion between Vegapunk and Soul. Now I know some people are like upset that Vegapunk is getting ready to like unleash a new body. Until we see like the variables of that and what the body looks like and all that, I'm still a-okay with that. I know people like steaks in One Piece. We're getting a lot of steaks, a lot of full course steaks. It's okay if some of that steak has A1 from time to time, like we're used to. Don't forget where you came from. The art is very amazing. And after all of like the false starts in Elbaf, we are finally like in Elbaf outright, and we're meeting Elbaf people and getting to know the culture. And one of my favorite characters is Ripley, who I just freaked out over in chapter 1135. Watch it here or here, wherever the thing pops up, And yeah, she's one of my favorite new ladies in One Piece. And uh I guess we can get to like the sauce of it all. Loki is talking to a voice. We don't know who that voice is. Presumably it's one of the two people who enter clandestined in the robes, and one of them looks like Shanks, which is to say, is this Shanks' twin brother? Is this a robot like Seraphim Shanks? Is this Shanks himself? We don't know, but I am firmly on the evil twin brother Shanks side of the gang. And it's just to have something like this confirmed that's been just speculative throughout the fan base for so many years at this point, and see it actually come into fruition is such an amazing thing. It's so crazy. It's so awesome. It's my number two. So for the number one spot, my favorite One Piece chapter of 2024 is chapter 1125. Man, this chapter here, you know, is one of your typical wrap up post arc chapters that put the arc in a nice little neat bow. And you're always bound to get a hype chapter when it's one of those chapters. And this may be one of the hypest one of those chapters I've ever read in my effing life. Of course, One Piece, to me at least, is at its best when it's doing the world building thing, and that's all this chapter is. You see Saint Garcia Saturn talking to the rest of the admirals, and you're seeing the admiral's reaction to him, and you're seeing how he's using that presence, that deadly force to like capacitate motherfuckers who asks questions that they shouldn't be asking. And then in the room of authority, in the room where the Gorosei have been sitting for the last I don't know how many years, decades at this point, you have mother freaking Saint Figarland Garling stepping into this motherfucker with his steel-toed boots, with his dress boots, talking about let's work together to build a better world, my fellow elders. And that's how you find out the man you've been working with for centuries is dead. That Emo killed him on the low. And then you cut back to Saint Garcia Saturn dying, and we see how a Gorosei dies, and it's gruesome and it's horrifying, and this is happening in front of the admirals, and now the admirals like they're seeing the corruption. They're seeing like this is the building blocks of what the new government is going to be because of this. Like this incident, seeing a freaking Gorosei melt in front of their eyes with a freaking demonic devil thing at his feet. Like it's Rhapsodies. It's the craziest thing I've seen all year from One Piece. It's mind-boggling how insane. If you told me that the guy that we think is Shanks' dad is about to join the Gorosei last year, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here, bro. But that's where we are. And I can't believe it. And we're seeing the implications of that now. And not this latest chapter, but the chapter before that, where we have some summoning circle showing up and some guy that looks like Shanks showing up. That is that under the rule of the new Gorosei that his daddy put his son on? Is his son now the leader of the God Knights since he left that void there, and now he's Figarland Garling is not the leader of the God's Knights anymore, so now his son is a part of that, and now he's sending them out there to seek out Loki for some reason. We don't know, but it trickles down from this moment. You don't get my second favorite chapter this year without my first favorite chapter, and they're just simpatico like that. Amazing shit. Okay, so by now you guys see my hair is like almost done, but like throughout the video it was just going through like non uh chronological order. You can see recorded these out of order, but whatever. Okay, this is where we at. You'll see me tomorrow or the next video to see this unkempt thing kempt.